What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going over everything you should expect to be coming to Fortnite's Star Wars Galactic Battle season, which launches tomorrow. Fortnite actually posted the patch notes for this season early, and so we're going to be going over that today. As always, if you guys do find this video to be helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like to see more. Comment down below what you think of this Star Wars season and the Star Wars update. And if you would like to use my creator code in the item shop when getting the Star Wars pass or anything else from the shop, it is just Evolve Jake, like my channel name is, and it is underneath the webcam at all times. So according to the patch notes, for the first day of the season, the only weapons will be lightsabers and blasters. I'm not sure how much this is going to change going forward, if they're just going to like unvault a bunch of regular weapons or if there will be a few. We don't know at this point, but we know tomorrow will be all blasters, and there will be several new blasters coming to the game. I'll have a screenshot on screen now, but I'm not going to go through all the, numbers and letter names. But there's going to be a pistol and SMG blaster, 2 scatter blaster, which I assume are shotguns. Like, that to me sounds like a shotgun. So it's going to be 2 Star Wars shotguns in this season, a close to medium range DL-19 blaster. I expect this to be somewhat like the collateral damage AR or Fury AR, like that style of weapon, of like more of a SMG AR hybrid weapon. There's going to be a sniper blaster, or Star Wars sniper in this, and then there's an all-purpose blaster called the A280, which appears to have a scope on it. I think this is going to be like the pseudo main AR for this season, and then a lot of the other blasters will have bloom and spread being third-person weapons. We also know that the DC-15, E11, and F11 blasters will be returning from previous Star Wars update. I don't know what the F11 is. I don't know if it's just like an alternate version of the E11, but I don't remember seeing that. And then there will also be a thermal imploder grenade coming. And as I said, for the first day, it's just going to be blasters and lightsabers, and they didn't really outline what other weapons will be coming to the loot pool, but I expect for a majority of the season for us to be using like these Star Wars weapons. A lot of people have been wondering and asking if these weapons are going to be hit scan or projectile, and Fortnite actually commented on this, confirming that the IQ A11 sniper and the DC-15 are projectile weapons, meaning they have bullet travel time, and then the other blasters are hit scan, meaning the bullets will basically teleport to the enemy and you don't need to worry about leading your shots. Not really sure if there's going to be drop on these projectile weapons because it is a laser. We'll have to see how that goes tomorrow, but it'd be kind of weird to have laser weapons that have significant drop, even if they do have travel time. And then we will also be getting several lightsabers coming to the game this season, as should be expected. And these lightsabers are confirmed to function similar to how they did in Chapter 4 Season 2, where you'll need to speak to a marked character on the map to get Jedi training for force powers and a lightsaber. If you eliminate someone who has a lightsaber, you can pick up their lightsaber and use it, but you won't have the force powers unless you get it from a character. And then these lightsabers will also have the improved sprint and the improved jump, so these will be a mobility item in addition to being a melee weapon, which is something that we've seen, over the past 2 seasons with the Typhoon Blade and the Bat. On launch, we will have force push Jedi training from Rey, where you can throw people around. In Chapter 4 Season 2, this was used a lot to knock people into the storm, and it was something that a lot of players complained about. And then the Force Lightning training you will get from Jar Jar. And then Darth Vader will also drop his lightsaber if you eliminate him at his POI, and this will come with a throw ability. These patch notes also outlined the map changes that we will be getting for this season, but this was already known ahead of time because Fortnite themselves posted the map about a week or so ago. I have a video going more in depth on that, but we know that Demon's Dojo, Whiffy Wharf, Shogun Solitude, and Hopeful Heights will all be changed into different Star Wars themed POIs. And so that will be what it's going to be. I'm very interested to see what kind of happens after this season, if those POIs just go back to what they were previously, or if we get some semblance of Star Wars on the map for the remainder of Chapter 6. Captain Phasma will be a boss on the island, and she will drop a mythic F11 blaster and a medallion, which extends how long you can fire blasters before they overheat and makes them cool down faster if they are overheated. If you guys haven't played with any of the Star Wars blasters before, they all have unlimited ammo, but as you shoot it, the weapon starts to overheat, and then if you reach max overheat, so the weapon overheats, you have like an animation basically where you need to wait for the weapon to cool down. And so part of managing these weapons is not shooting so much that your weapon overheats, but also like trying to maintain a decent fire rate in fights. With this medallion, you'll kind of have a pseudo extended mag because you can shoot it longer before overheating, but also it cooling down faster will make it just more convenient to use these weapons. Depending on how big of a deal overheating is, this medallion could probably be kind of meh, or it could be incredibly good, just depending on how much we really need to worry about and manage this. And the amount of like overheat, or the amount a weapon can be fired before overheating, kind of varies from weapon to weapon. We will have TIE fighters and X-Wings as drivable vehicles, and both of these will be equipped with weapons on them. The TIE fighter is only a single person vehicle, whereas the X-Wing can hold multiple people. But as I said, both of these vehicles feature weapons on them, so that is something that we haven't really had. I mean, I guess I was going to say we haven't had it in a while, but we just had it with Wrecked. Not sure if they will be as big of a deal or Wrecked, or how fragile these vehicles will be. Also, when it comes to shooting them out of the sky, the blasters may or may not work well for that. As I will repeat many times for this season, though, I'm sure, this season is only a month long, and we'll get to that in a bit, but this isn't the longest season of all time, so I think going more hard on like the Star Wars theme kind of makes sense, and it frustrates me much less than it would if this was like a full-length 3-month-long Fortnite season. I think with it being only a month long, it's going to go pretty quick, and we are going to be getting weekly updates for this season, and Fortnite included these updates in the patch notes telling us what will happen. So on the May 8th update, Leia, Luke, and Han Solo will arrive on the island. And then Mace Windu will also appear as a new Jedi training NPC, and he will teach you the Force Pull ability. And then Darth Maul will be also added in this update to teach the Force Throw ability. This is the one that throws a bunch of rocks onto people. This one was also complained about a good amount during Chapter 4, Season 2. The two Jedi trainings that people, were irritated with the most, or were the most effective, depending on how you want to look at it, were the push and the throw. The pull really wasn't that big of a deal, but it just pulls people towards you, kind of similar to the Scorpion weapon, but you didn't really have to be precise with it. It was more of like an AoE attack. On the May 15th update, Chewbacca will arrive to the island, and his Wookiee bowcaster will be added back to the loot pool as well. We had this in Chapter 5. It was a crossbow that you could charge up, and if you charged it up enough, you did explosive damage. And I'm pretty sure you would hit splash damage through cars with this, so I'm interested to see if this becomes like a counter to the vehicles. If you're able to just get splash damage on people in those flying vehicles with the bowcaster, I could see that being pretty good. And then the CA-87 Jawa Scatter Blaster will also be added to the loot pool. Again, this is expected to be a shotgun, and based on the picture of it, I think it'll be like a hard-hitting single-shot shotgun, maybe somewhat similar to what we had with the Oni. On May 22nd, we get the Mandalorian update. This is actually when I'm leaving for DreamHack, so when May 22nd does come, I will not have an update video that day, unfortunately. But with this update, Mandalorians will arrive to the island, and you will be able to hire a heavy, scout, supply, or medic Mandalorian NPC. This is similar to how the hired NPCs work now. The heavy one throws grenades, the supply one gives you ammo, the scout one marks the area, and then the medic one heals you. The Mandalorian jetpack and Amban sniper rifle will be unvaulted in this update. These were in Chapter 2, Season 5, the Mandalorian update for that season. And then there will also be a new dual-wield Webstar 34 blaster that will be added in this update as well, which looks like a dual-wield pistol-style weapon. So the Mandalorian update is going to be May 22nd. On May 29th is when the Star Destroyer Bombardment update will come out. And you will be able to use the Star Destroyer Bombardment to fire down onto the island and just basically wreak havoc. How Fortnite describes this, though, makes me think it will be very similar to the Godzilla update. They say that a single portal will spawn every match, and then the first player to get to it gets to pilot the Star Destroyer. So a lot of people are already freaking out about this update online, and it's, a month away, basically. But I expect it to be somewhat similar to Godzilla, where, it's probably easy to damage and maybe even has a limited time to where Godzilla has. But even if it is incredibly broken and overpowered and the most, nonsensical thing that we've ever had in Fortnite, this is in the final week of a month-long season, so it's not going to stay for long. On June 7th, we have the Death Star Sabotage narrative event, and that will be the final day of the Star Wars season. So the Star Destroyer thing is not going to be in for very long at all. In the Death Star Sabotage event, though, it is going to be a full-scale, actual, big narrative live event. Recently, we've had a lot of mini events where, you know, you just got to be in game at the time and, you know, hopefully you know about it. With the Death Star event, I assume it will be heavily advertised and marketed by Fortnite, and it will be its own game mode in the game mode selection when the time for the event comes. So the Death Star event should be a big full-scale event, not just something that you have to luckily be in a game to see. But that is going to be it. Actually, one more thing I want to talk about for those people who are interested is that they did post what the battle pass will be for this season as well. We kind of already knew about it because Fortnite posted the key art. But in the battle pass, we will be getting the Apprentice Eevee skin, the Poe Dameron skin, the Wookiee Team Leader skin, Emperor Palpatine, and then the bonus skin that will come later via challenges will be General Grievous. And then there will be several other Star Wars characters coming to the shop as well throughout this time, like Jar Jar Binks, Mace Windu, and you know, so on and so forth. But that is going to be it for the Star Wars patch notes. I will have them linked down in the description below if you do want to read them at your, you know, your own pace. And if you, you know, for some reason didn't believe what I was saying in this video, the patch notes are out there. You can read them. As always, if you guys did find this to be helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like to see more. Comment down below what you think of these changes, and if you would like to use my code in the item shop, as I said earlier, it is just EvolveJake, like my channel name is, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.